Good evening, little birds. Welcome to the library. Tonight, we travel beneath the very streets of Richmond, Virginia, to the crumbling heart of its industrial age, a place of sweat and steam, of pride and peril. This is the story of men who worked in darkness, and of one whose final act would make him a legend. I am Caspian Crow, and this is the true tale of the Church Hill Tunnel collapse. It was October 2nd, 1925. Rain poured over the city, soaking the brick streets and swelling the red clay beneath. Far below Church Hill, a crew of railway workers from the Chesapeake and Ohio line was hard at work restoring an old tunnel, one that had been sealed for decades. Among them was Benjamin Franklin Mosby, a 26-year-old fireman, known for his strength, his good humor, and his steady hand with a coal shovel. He wasn't meant to be there that day. The regular fireman had fallen ill, and Mosby had been called in at the last moment to take his place aboard Engine 231, a narrow, aging locomotive that still had a little fire left in her heart. Their task seemed simple: haul 10 flat cars into the tunnel so crews could haul out the clay and debris from its crumbling interior. Mosby took his post beside the engineer, Tom Mason, as the locomotive crossed the bridge near Williamsburg Road and plunged into the mouth of the tunnel. Behind them, the light of day vanished into shadow. Inside, the tunnel was damp and close. Echoes of steel and shovel bounced down the narrow passage. The air was thick with the smell of coal smoke and damp earth. As they reached the midpoint beneath Church Hill, near the old spire of St. John's Church, something shifted in the earth. A sound like thunder rolled overhead. Bricks began to fall. Ben Mosby barely had time to shout, "Watch out, Tom, she's a-comin' in!" In the next heartbeat, the ceiling came down. The tunnel roared to life with stone and dust and screaming metal. A section of the tunnel collapsed onto Engine 231, crushing the cab. Scalding steam burst from the boiler, filling the chamber with a white-hot mist. Outside, onlookers gathered in horror as the ground above began to sink. Rescue crews rushed to dig through the debris, their shovels slipping in the rain. Hours passed before they reached the mangled edge of the train, and as those hours ticked by, Ben Mosby was crawling beneath the cars, his body in agony, but carried on by sheer grit and determination. He emerged from the tunnel terribly burned, his clothes and skin seared by the boiling steam. Witnesses said he stumbled up the steep dirt bank unaided, refusing help. When someone tried to steady him, he simply asked for water and added, "Some of you boys please call my wife and tell her I got out and I am not badly hurt." He was taken to Grace Hospital, where doctors fought to save him. For 7 long hours, he lingered between life and death. Then, quietly, Benjamin Franklin Mosby passed away. His funeral was held on October 5th at St. John's Church, once the site of Patrick Henry's famous Liberty or Death speech, and then he was laid to rest at Hollywood Cemetery, overlooking the James River. But the story doesn't rest easy. Witnesses near the tunnel claimed that just after the collapse, they saw something or someone burst from the rubble and flee toward the river. A figure, they said, covered in blood and burns, moving with unnatural speed. It vanished into the darkness of Hollywood Cemetery, where it was seen slipping into the crypt of one W. Poole. The press soon gave that nameless figure a name: the Richmond Vampire. For years afterward, visitors to the cemetery whispered of strange noises beneath the stone and red eyes glimmering in the dark. Visitors to Hollywood Cemetery have been known to knock on the door of the crypt, trying to stir whatever may lie within. Some said it was a monster. Others swore it was poor Mosby himself, risen from his grave and seeking rest in the only refuge left him. Perhaps it was nothing more than frightened witnesses and fevered imagination. Or perhaps, beneath the hills of Richmond, something ancient was awakened, and the earth split open that day. One final bit of strangeness adds to this legend. When Benjamin Mosby was buried in Hollywood Cemetery, there were, of course, many flowers laid for him, but one bunch was unusual, supposedly sent by a former Richmond Railroad man unknown to the Mosby family. The flowers bore a card that simply said, "Just a tribute from a stranger to the memory of a gallant soul, one who, injured unto death, thought not of himself, but of those entrusted to his care. Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Thank you for joining me in the library, little birds. I'm Caspian Crow, and I bid you good reading.